What if I told you someone could be controlling your decisions without ever giving you an order? No threats, no force, no obvious warning signs, and yet slowly influence what you think, how you feel, and even the choices you make. The scary part? Most manipulation doesn't come from strangers. It comes from people you trust. Friends, partners, family members, coworkers. And because manipulation is often disguised as love, concern, or advice, most people never see it happening. But today, you're going to learn 7 signs that reveal when someone is secretly manipulating you. And the last sign is the one that traps people for years without them realizing it. Imagine saying no to a simple request. Instead of accepting your answer, they suddenly become upset, disappointed, hurt, and somehow you end up feeling like the bad person. You've probably heard phrases like, "After everything I've done for you, I guess I don't matter to you." Wow, I didn't expect that from you. Notice something? They're not trying to understand your decision. They're trying to make you feel guilty enough to change it, because guilt is one of the most powerful emotional weapons. When people feel guilty, they stop acting in their own best interest and start acting in someone else's. Have you ever remembered something clearly, only for someone to repeatedly tell you it never happened? At first you argue, then you explain, then eventually you start questioning yourself. Maybe I remembered it wrong. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm the problem. This tactic is often called gaslighting, and it's incredibly dangerous, because once you stop trusting your own judgment, you start depending on theirs. And when someone controls your perception of reality, they control far more than your decisions. They control your confidence. No matter what happens, it's never their fault. They're always misunderstood, always mistreated, always unlucky. Every criticism becomes an attack. Every mistake becomes someone else's responsibility. At first you feel sympathy, then you start defending them. Then eventually, you start carrying burdens that were never yours to begin with. Because when someone constantly positions themselves as the victim, they quietly avoid accountability. And accountability is something manipulators hate. This one catches people off guard. In the beginning, they make you feel amazing. They text constantly, compliment you, support you, make you feel important. You start thinking, this person really understands me. Then suddenly, everything changes. The attention disappears, the warmth disappears, the affection disappears, and now you're desperately trying to get back the version of them you met at the beginning. But here's the truth. That version may have never been real. Sometimes people give affection, not because they love you, but because they want something from you. And once they have it, the mask starts slipping. Manipulators rarely say, "Stop talking to your friends. That would be too obvious." Instead, they plant small seeds. "I don't think your friend really cares about you. Your family doesn't understand you. Everyone seems to be against us." Little by little, they create distance between you and the people who genuinely care about you. Why? Because isolated people are easier to influence. When you only hear one voice, that voice becomes your reality, and that's exactly what manipulators want. Fear is powerful. In fact, fear can make intelligent people do irrational things. Manipulators understand this, so they create fear whenever they feel they're losing control. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of failure. They make you believe that if you don't do what they want, something terrible will happen. And when fear takes over, logic usually leaves the room. That's why manipulation works so well. It bypasses logic and targets emotion. Think about your closest relationships. Who usually says sorry? Who compromises? Who changes their behavior? Who sacrifices their needs? If the answer is always you, pay attention, because healthy relationships require balance. But manipulative relationships often create a strange pattern. One person keeps giving, the other keeps taking, and over time, the giver becomes exhausted, not because they're weak, but because they've been carrying the entire relationship alone. Here's the truth most people never realize. Manipulation isn't always loud, it isn't always obvious, and it doesn't always come from bad people. Sometimes it comes from people who are deeply insecure, people who want control because they're afraid of losing it. But regardless of where it comes from, the result is the same. You slowly lose trust in yourself, and when that happens, someone else gains power over your life. So remember this, the moment you start questioning whether you're being manipulated, don't immediately ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "Why am I feeling this way in the first place?" Because awareness changes everything. And once you can see manipulation, it becomes much harder for anyone to use it against you.